All right, everyone, welcome back to Coastal Living. Please welcome our next guests who are going to prepare us for spring gardening. Kevin Gibbs with Texas A&M AgriLife and Deb Holliday, a certified master gardener. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us today.
Well, I don't know if y'all heard, but I've really got a green thumb. Just kidding. Anyone who watches the show know that I can't keep a plant alive for the life of me. But spring is around the corner. A lot of us are looking at our flower beds. They're kind of needing some love, some cleanup, and maybe some new life. So tell us, what do we have to look forward to and how can we do that?
Well, the first things to do is see what needs to be done. You've got to get those beds cleaned out. You know, one of the things I tell people all the time is don't go buy plants until those beds are good to go. Oh. And so get out. We're all guilty of buying stuff and having it there, and we don't get the beds cleaned out, and next thing we know, our plants are still sitting there and they're dying.
Absolutely. Well,
so get the beds cleaned out and get everything ready to go. Pull those weeds out. Pull the grasses out and maybe add some organic matter to it and get it in good shape. What do you think, Deb?
I think composting or adding some organic matter like cow manure or what's that, cotton burr compost? Those are all good things to amend and dig into your soil so that your plants get a good start. And yeah, some of us tend to go to the garden stores and fall in love with plants.
Every time I go to H-E-B, I'm like, I need this one.
And we take them home, and then for the next 6 weeks, our husband is saying, when are you going to get those in the ground?
Yes, exactly. And it's tough too because really some of them aren't meant to stay in those pots. They look very beautiful when you buy them, but at some point they do need more soil, they need more love. So how do we, you mentioned preparing our beds. Are we like tilling the soil? Are we removing the soil, adding new? You mentioned fertilizer.
Well, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. Most of us choose to do it by just turning the soil over with a shovel.
Okay, so just a little flip.
But if it's a big area, you can use a tiller. And there is a movement now going to no-till, and you just remove all the weeds and stuff, and then you plant straight in that way. Okay. Now would probably be a good time to do a soil test as well.
How do you do that?
You can actually do it through Texas A&M AgriLife. You can just contact our office and pick up a kit, or you can go online and print out the forms that you need. And it's a simple process. I can send you all the information on how to collect a soil test, and you probably want to do that about every 2 years. Two to three years here to just give you some idea of what nutrients you've got in the soil.
That's true. When you add compost to your soil in the springtime, your plants are eating that up so they can give you the nutrition when they get ripe.
Sure.
And so you do want to check and see if your soil does need some amendment. And regardless of whether you're growing in sand or you're growing in clay, we all need amendments to correct the problems with our soil.
Well, that was my next question, because, you know, is it different, or is there a different type of soil that you need when you live on the island versus maybe out in the country or in the city? We're working with different types of
There's a simple answer to that. Pretty much the solution to helping any soil is to add organic matter.
Okay.
So just
That's a proper term for
compost, for anything that has been put into a pile and allowed to decompose is organic matter.
Okay, and I'd really love to have y'all back and talk about natural compost, because it's interesting to me, but I'm just not sure my husband would allow me to do
that. Yeah, I went through an advanced training on compost. Happy to help.
Great. Well, we look forward to that on a different day. Now, you mentioned the plants providing us with nutrients. You're talking about starting possibly a garden with some fruits and herbs that we can eat. So how do we go about that? It's something I've always wanted to do. Do we start small? Do we keep them in pots until we know we're good at it?
I think that it's a good idea to do a little bit of research. What is it that you like to eat and that your family will eat? And so kind of doing a little bit of research on the Aggie-Horticulture site is a good place to start, because there are plant lists specific to Nueces County that tell us what varieties to grow and the times of the year that's the right time to plant them. Planting them in the right place at the right time, and if you're going to use them. There's also the economic factor. I mean, certain plants like cilantro, for instance, has a very short life in our area.
So it's not you, it's a cilantro.
Yeah. So, and think about the price in the grocery store. Some things come into season and they're very inexpensive at the grocery store, and so it's economical to buy those things at the grocery store. But the thing that's really good about growing your own is you can grow things organically and you know where they came from. You don't have to worry about the risk of parasites.
Yes, it's all tying together.
Good for you. Exactly. So you do need to do a little bit of research, and then the number of people that you're going to be feeding will help you to determine how many plants you're going to buy as well.
Sure.
So, but you know what? If you see something that strikes your fancy, go ahead and experiment with it, because gardening is a matter of trial and error. And sometimes things do really well one year and not so great the next year.
That's the way the coastal bend is.
Yes.
Great. Well, it's really helpful to know that we do have these resources. You can't just assume that you have this all-knowing brain that knows how to do everything like I think I do. But we have these resources. So one more time, give me the website that we can go to learn more.
It's Aggie Horticulture. So if you just go into Google and you type in Aggie Horticulture, it'll pull it right up for you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming and enlightening us, prepping us for spring. I know we're looking forward to all those beautiful flowers and maybe starting our own garden. I know that's on my to-do list when I get my first home, so I'm very excited.
Quite beautiful.
For that. Absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to go home and put these all in one bowl of soup and see what it tastes like. Thank y'all for joining us today.